So we've had an opportunity to have a great couple days of meetings, having an opportunity to convene with our head men's and women's basketball coaches, our board of administrators and chief executive officers. I would say there are probably three things that really bled throughout all of those meetings. First and foremost, starting with men's and women's basketball. Obviously that is a sport, it's our primary sport. We really value that. Obviously all of our student athlete experiences, but engaging with our coaches. What's worked really well? How do we continue to elevate? What are the things that we want to do to continue to stay competitive in this very evolving landscape? And so I thought those discussions were very healthy. We talked about scheduling initiatives, the importance of scheduling and how that has a direct impact on the overall success. Our directors of athletics as well as CEOs also spent time speaking about that. We have phenomenal leadership in our student athletes. Meredith Page, Kimmy, Emily, we had 3 student athletes that were here with us this week, and I think we can all glean from this one experience. That's why it's so important to make sure that their voice is heard and included.
It means everything for the Big South Conference to have student athletes involved within our governance. I think that, we've been trailblazers in this space for a long time, and these are decisions that affect us every single day, and we feel the difference. So being able to put our voice there and have SAC in the room is really important to us.
Student athletes get an opportunity, and our voice really truly matters to the Big South as legislation in spring meetings gets voted upon, and getting the student athlete input on things that do affect us day to day is important. And for the Big South to give us that opportunity really shows how much the conference is dedicated to the student athlete.
I think because everyone in that room wants what's best for student athletes, and every decision affects student athletes the most of anyone, and so the fact that we're included and our voice is heard is really important as the decisions are all made for us. And so being able to be a part of those decisions and just being able to see how much each administrator cares for us and cares about the decisions, it was just really awesome to see.
From a strategic positioning standpoint, this is something that we commenced probably about 3.5, 4 months ago. We are very fortunate to partner with the Pictor Group, and because of their leadership, we were able to see the analysis and the framework as we began to revise our strategic plan. And I was talking to some of our board of administrators, the strategic position. It's really about how do we make strategic decisions to really position ourselves in the conference to continue to be successful and elevate.
Right now, the landscape of Division I athletics is really changing. There's a new paradigm right on the horizon. So the Big South timing is perfect, right? As the judges are going to determine whether there's a settlement, there's a new Division I structure that's going in place, new governance, and the timing of the Big South Conference and their interest in really positioning themselves for success in the future and doing it now is critically important. And so they've lined that up really nicely to be able to have such a solid forward-facing position as they go into a new paradigm for college athletics.
Definitely last but not least, it was a pretty historic day as it relates to the Big South Conference continuing to prioritize the student athletes, not only voice, but now vote. Our board of administrators, as well as our chief executive officers, they supported a student athlete vote within our governance structure, and we are absolutely elated, just especially in the times with our student athletes being able to add their perspective and really opine on their student athlete experiences.
One other thing that stood out was just the student athlete voting, and just seeing that is something that continues to be encouraged and that the board wants, and just figuring out the logistics of that is what comes next. But the fact that they support that just makes me very happy as a student athlete.
Just to see how willing and how much they care about the student athletes, and how much they care about not only our time at the Big South, but also post-grad, and watching us grow and just really enhancing all opportunities.
What makes me most excited about the Big South Conference is just where we're heading. There's so many things that we could look at that's happening to us currently and happening to a lot of people in institutions and college athletics, but we really are forward thinking here and making sure that who we are as a brand, as the Big South, who our student athletes are, our administrators and so are really positioning ourselves to be the most successful for our student athletes, administrators and so on the court or off the court.